Hi, let's learn about the graphing linear equations. In our previous videos, we learned to solve any linear equations with one variable. In this video, we are going to see how to graph linear equations with two variables. Graphing is a good way to visualize what happens when you plug different numbers into an equation. Well, an equation is a comparison of two sets of numbers with an equal sign, like 24 equals 4 times 6. A linear equation is sort of like that, only we don't know all of the numbers. We use placeholders called variables to represent these unknown amounts. Any letter you see inside an equation is a variable. X and Y are used a lot, but you can really use any letter you want. Then, a linear equation is an equation whose graphical form is a straight line. Many linear equations are also functions. They describe the relationship between an output value y and an input value x. Functions? We will learn about them later. Okay, here, to graph a linear equation, find and plot at least 2 points that make the equation true, and connect these points into a straight line. Okay, to graph a linear equation, follow these 4 simple steps. Step 1. Solve the equation for y, which means isolate the y on the left hand side of the equal sign. Step 2. Find at least 2 points that make the equation true. Step 3. Graph the 2 points. Step 4. Connect the 2 points into a straight line. Make sure to extend the line with arrows to show that it goes on forever. Now let's graph this linear equation. 2 plus x minus y equals 0. How can I say it's a linear equation? Because the maximum power of any variable is 1 and it has two variables x and y. Step 1. Solve the equation for y. That means isolate the y. If we bring this negative y to that side, it becomes positive y. So we have 2 plus x equals 0 plus y or just y. Now I am going to swap sides because the step 1 says that put y on the left of the equal sign. We get y equals 2 plus x. And let's label this equation as the number 1 because we are going to use this equation often. Okay, we isolated the y on the left of the equal sign. So we move on to step 2. Find at least 2 points that make the equation true. So pick 2 random numbers for x. Say 0 and 3, and with these values, let's see what we get for y. If we put 0 in place of x in our altered equation 1, it becomes y equals 2 plus 0. So we have y equals 2. So the order pair form, in other words, the point is 0, 2. 0 is the x value and 2 is the y value. Then if we give 3 in place of x in the equation 1, it becomes y equals 2 plus 3. So we have y equals 5. So our second point is 3, 5. The points 0, 2 and 3, 5 make the equation 1 true. We found the points, so let's move on to step 3. Graph the 2 points. Well, now we can use our trusty coordinate plane, a two-dimensional representation of space. That space is split up by an x-axis and a y-axis. And those axes correspond to the x and y from our equation. We can use the x and y values from our equation to map points on the plane. Check it out. We have a point 0, 2. So, to find the point described by the order pair 0, 2, you would start by looking at the first number, the x coordinate 0. It tells you to stay there. Next, you look at the second number, the y coordinate, which tells you to go 2 units up. Now it's at the point 0, 2. In the same way, let's find the point 3, 5. You would start out by going 3 units to the right and then 5 units up. Now step 4. Connect and extend the 2 points to make a straight line. Now we have got 2 points graph out, and since linear equation graph a straight lines, 2 points is really all we need. So this is the graph of the linear equation 2 plus x minus y equals 0. It looks like a simple graph, but there are many things we can infer from it. First, the graph is a straight line. The graph of a linear equation will always be a straight line. No matter what linear equation you pick, the graph will always be a straight line. What else does this graph tell us? Another important thing it tells us is that whichever point you pick on in this line, it will be a solution to this equation. Now these 2 points will surely no other solution of this linear equation. So let's take another random point, say this one, 2, 4. When x is 2 and y is 4, we see that the equation is satisfied. 2 plus 2 is 4 and that 4 minus 4 is 0. We get left hand side equals right hand side. So whichever point you take on this line, it will be a solution to our linear equation. And is there anything else you can deduce from this concept? Absolutely, if you pick a point which does not lie on the line, it will not be a solution to this equation. Take any random point which does not lie on this line. Say at this point 1, 2, it will not be one of the solutions of this equation as it does not lie on the line. And we can also verify it mathematically. 2 plus 1 is 3 and that 3 minus 2 is 1, not 0. Now you know how to plot the graph of a linear equation in 2 variables. And apart from that, there are 3 main takeaways from this video. First, the graph of a linear equation will always be a straight line. Second, every point on the line will be the solution of the equation which shows the line. And third, every point which does not lie on the line will not be a solution of the linear equation which shows the line. Now let's graph another linear equation 3x plus y equals 2. Step 1. Solve the equation for y. That means isolate the y. So let's isolate this y on the left by bringing this positive 3x to that side. By doing so we get y equals, here first write whatever already on this side, that is 2. And if we bring this plus 3x to that side, it becomes minus 3x. And let's label this equation as the number 1 because we are going to use this equation often. Okay, we isolated the y on the left of the equal sign. So let's move on to step 2. Find at least 2 points that make the equation true. So pick 2 random numbers for x. Say negative 1 and 1, and with these values, let's see what we get for y. If we put negative 1 in place of x in our equation 1, it becomes y equals 2 minus 3 times negative 1. So we have y equals 2, then negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. We get y equals 5. So the order pair form, in other words, the point is negative 1, 5. Negative 1 is the x value and 5 is the y value. Then if we give 1 in place of x in the equation 1, it becomes y equals 2 minus 3 times 1. So we have y equals 2 minus 3 times 1 is 3. We get y equals 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So our second point is 1, negative 1. The points negative 1, 5 and 1, negative 1 make the equation 1 true. We found the 2 points, so let's move on to step 3. Graph the 2 points. We have a first point, negative 1, 5. So, to find the point described by the order pair, negative 1, 5, you would start by looking at the first number, the x coordinate, negative 1. It tells you to go 1 unit left. Next, You look at the second number, the y coordinate, which tells you to go 5 units up. Now it's at the point negative 1, 5. In the same way, let's find the point 1, negative 1. You would start out by going 1 units to the right and then 1 units down. Now step 4. Connect and extend 2 points to make a straight line. Now we have got 2 points graph out, and since linear equation graph is straight lines, 2 points is really all we need. So this is the graph of the linear equation 3x plus y equals 2. Summary. To put your new knowledge into practice, try the your turn questions below.